Hello, good morning, South Sudan. So welcome to SFBC this morning of 30th August 2022. This is the day that South Sudanese has been yearning for the graduations of the unified forces in the Republic of South Sudan. This is the day that South Sudanese look toward for the celebrations of the implementation of the revitalized peace agreement. Dear viewers, thank you so much for following, and we are coming to you live from South Sudan capital, Juba, and in this day, as you are celebrating the graduations of the unified forces, joining me right here in the studio is none other than Major General Majier Deng Kur, member of the Supervision Committee of the graduations of the unified forces. Major General, allow me to say it, I'm profoundly honored and exceedingly humbled to have you on SFBC. You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Today is a day, as I mentioned, a day that South Sudanese have been waiting to see that the unified forces are graduated. As a member of the Supervision Committee, can you give us overview of the arrangement that is being done right now in place in South Sudan capital here?
Thank you. Once again, all the organizing committee have organized the graduation in full gear. Today is a historical day to the people of South Sudan because they are making the impossible possible. The international community has been saying that the graduation of unified forces is impossible. But today we are telling them that there is nothing impossible in South Sudan. It is possible now. They will be watching, and what they have been saying is now going to the dustbin.
Okay, nothing is impossible in South Sudan. That's your word. How can you describe the graduations of the unified forces in another term that maybe you can say it, in regard to the implementations of the revitalized peace agreement?
Well, we are implementing Chapter 2 of the agreement. And in Chapter 2, there are so many articles that have been outlined in the chapter. And myself, I was one of the people who was leading Chapter 2 negotiations, both in Addis and Khartoum. So today, we are implementing the Chapter 2 arrangements, and that is why we are graduating the unified forces today. The unified forces are a combination of almost 6 units. You start from the army, the police, the prisons, the defense, the defense,
Fire brigade.
Fire brigade, and also they call it civil defense, and we have the wildlife and national security. So all these components are today graduating here in Juba. And also, there will be graduations that will take place in the other 2 regions, Upper Nile, Greater Upper Nile, Greater Bahr al-Ghazal. The one of the Greater Equatoria will be 2. Graduation will be in 2 phases. One for Juba is happening today, and maybe in 2 days, 3 days time, it will happen in Torit, and then we complete the phase 1. Phase 1 of the graduation of the forces. Phase 2, forces will go into training, and they will be graduated approximately, I can say, 4 months or 5 months time after the training.
Okay. So what of the Greater Upper Nile and Greater Bahr el Ghazal? When is the graduation going to happen?
They will follow. because things are now rolling on the way. Their money have been released, food is going, and that task is given to the state governors. So as soon as we finish from here, also delegates will be going to these places to go and graduate the forces in these two greater regions.
Major General, there has been numerous reports in the country about insecurity-related issues. Do you think the graduations of the unified forces will improve the security situation in the country?
Well, to me it will improve. But I want to tell you also, even in the countries that seem to be stable, this issue of criminality is there. You go to America, it is there. Anywhere it is there. So, but it will not be in big numbers like before we could graduate these forces. So it will go down.
Okay. And dear viewers, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're coming to you live from South Sudan capital, Juba, and today is the day that South Sudanese are celebrating and looking forward to see the achievement of the graduations of the unified forces in the country, and it's happening this morning from Dr. John Garang Mausoleum. And we have our reporters and the technical team on the ground that will bring to you the live update at Dr. John Garang shortly. And right here in the studio with me is Major General Majier Deng Kur, is the member of the Supervision Committee of the graduations of the unified forces. We are finding out more about the graduation and the arrangement in place at Dr. John Garang Mausoleum for the celebration and the graduation of the unified forces. Major General, let's talk briefly about the challenges that has been affecting, making it hard for the graduations of the unified forces not to happen on the expected time by South Sudanese.
Well, the challenges were, especially in case of funding the training of these unified forces. Sometimes we have shortage of food. Sometimes we have shortage of medicines in the training center. So mainly, these two have been hampering the graduation of the unified forces. But now we have overcome them, and that is why it is happening now.
Well, talking about food and fun, now let's look at these unified forces. How can you describe the national patriotism in them after this graduation? Do you think that they're going to work together, given the fact that some of them come from different backgrounds, different affiliations?
Well, now they have been trained together, and that is the most important thing, because you cannot bring a force from outside, from somewhere, and the other force from somewhere, and just amalgamate them in one unit without training them and without giving them the principles of being unified. Why are we unifying them? So now all these processes have taken place, and the forces have been trained together. They know themselves, and they know that they are sons and daughters of this country. And if they are sons and daughters of this country, then they have to do one thing, that is peace in this country, and which is the people of South Sudan are yearning for. So they have to do it, because there is nothing that will tell them not to do it, because they have been trained together, and they will be in one squad as a basic unit in the army, and then up to where they can go to divisions and more than that.
When are we expecting these unified forces going to be deployed to their respective maybe unit?
As soon as we graduate them, the command of these forces will sit and deploy them to the various units.
Are they going to base right in Juba or maybe going to some state? Because you did mention that earlier, there is a graduation that is expected to happen in Greater Upper Nile, in Greater Barghazal, and also in Greater Equatoria. So these graduations, these unified forces that are being graduated today here in Juba, are they going to be deployed within Juba or?
Well, mainly those who are in Juba here, especially from the police, prisons, and all these units. These are units that are not deployed on the basis of the whole country. But national security and the army, you can be deployed anywhere. You don't have to stay in your state. But prisons and police, despite the fact it is being termed as national police, national prisons, but in terms of deployment, they are not being deployed anyhow. Everybody is deployed in his own state. But this is what people should work if we are going to be a national prisons. Then you have to work anywhere. There's no need for you to work in your own state. You have to go anywhere.
How can you describe the discipline of these unified forces?
Well, as they have been trained almost for 3 years, they are supposed to be disciplined. Because training is always 6 months. But if you spend 3 years, then you are supposed to be a disciplined soldier. And this is what we are expecting from them.
Do you think that in regard to their discipline, now if they come out and feel like they have been in the training centers for long, and you talk about the issue of fun earlier and food, if the food is not going to be there, if there is no money for them to be paid, don't you think that maybe the issue of discipline will not be there?
Well, everything will be there. They will have their salaries, and if there is food that is being distributed, it will be there. So there is nothing that will make them not to be disciplined again.
There is nothing that will make the unified forces not to be disciplined. This is a disciplined, unified forces of the country, said Major General Majier Deng Kur. We're coming to you live on SABC, and today is the 30th of August 2022, where the country is looking and seeing the achievement in chapter of the implementation of the Revitalized Peace Agreement. That is the graduation of the unified forces, and it's happening this morning at Dr. John Garang Museum. Let's have a break, and we will be right back shortly.
This is part of the exercise of the parade that will be actually completed by the day of tomorrow. These are some of the forces, which is out of 5,300 unified force composed of all the opposition and the government who are part of the Revitalized Peace Agreement. As you could see them, they are getting ready for the day, which is tomorrow, to ensure that these forces are graduated, to ensure they enhance security, development and stability of the new nation.
As the clock is ticking, only few hours left for South Sudan to witness a major breakthrough in the implementation of Chapter 2 connected to the security arrangements, as more than 5,000 necessary unified forces are carrying out massive exercise, displaying military skills and knowledge they acquired during their training for the last 3 years.
We're here watching the final preparation by the forces that are going to be graduated We are graduating as all the forces from the army, represented by the VIP, from the police, from the wildlife, from correctional services, and from national security, and from civil defense. They are going to be graduated. They have been in training for almost the last 3 years.
The chairperson of National Transitional Committee, Tut Galwak, the heads of Joint Defense Board, and representative of security mechanisms witnessed the first ever military parade of a strong, well-equipped, unified, able men and women, combined of the parties who are signatories to the revitalized peace agreement, capable of defending the constitution, territorial integrity, citizens and their properties, as they await the big day, Tuesday, 30th of August, to be graduated.
المقام الأول نبارك السيد رئيس الجمهورية سلوى كير ميادين والنائب الأول دكتور يوم مشار ونائب حسين عبد الباقي وكل نواب رئيس الجمهورية وكل الحكومة. نحن اليوم اللي شرفنا نشوف طابور عرض عسكري لأن دولة جنوب السودان نفذ في كل بنود اتفاقية بتعلق بالاتفاقات الأمنية. الدفعة الأولى الدفعة في 2 بيجي إن شاء الله بعد تدريج القوات وما بقعد كثير في معسكرات. ونحن ده مواطنين دولة جنوب السودان في جوبا يخرج بكره يشارك أبناء جيشنا الوطني الموحدة بدافع عن عقيدة جنوب السودان، دافع عن دستورنا، دافع عن دولنا. نحن سعداء جدا ومقصودين ونحيي كل القادة لأنه أنجز كبيرة جدا اللجان الأمنية ونقول لهم مبروك مقدما وأنجزتم ما كلفكم رئيس الجمهورية وأنجزتم ما كلفكم مواطن في دولة جنوب السودان. نحن اليوم سعداء جدا نشهد شهود الأعيان وأنتم ناس إعلام أنتم شهادة على كل ماشي في ميدان. إن شاء الله بكرة قدم وندعو كل إعلام في داخل جنوب السودان خارج جنوب السودان نراقب بكرة دولة جنوب السودان في حدث جديد.
According to the officials, the necessary unified forces would help in boosting the security in and around Juba, as well as supporting in the peacekeeping mission in the region.
100% 100% أننا جاهزين للتخريج في وقت المحدد اللي هو بكرة، ونقول لشعب جنوب السودان وحكومة جنوب السودان بنديم مبروكات مقدما تعاون القوات الأمنية كله بوليس وسجون وجيش ناشونال سيكيورتي ونكتفى أيدينا سوا ونشتغل شغل واحد عشان نجيبوا أمن وطمأنينة والسلام للشعب بتاعنا بتاع جنوب السودان.
Government officials, general public, representatives of diplomatic missions, Argemek African Union, security mechanisms, Troika, civil society organizations, community leaders, faith-based groups, business communities, and peace partners would witness the graduation of more than 5,000 unified forces, including police, prison service, fire brigade, wildlife, national security, and special forces for the protection of very important persons in the country. Gore Anthony, SSBC News, Juba.
Welcome back, dear viewers. Thank you so much for following us, and thanks to my colleague Gori Anthony for that live update. And we're still right here in the studio with Major General Majier Deng Kur, member of the supervisions of the Graduation Committee of the Unified Forces. And Major General, allow me to say it, welcome back.
Thank you.
How can you describe the these achievements of the graduations of the Unified Forces in your own terms?
Well, this is a way forward, and a challenge to those who have been saying the graduation of the Unified Forces will not happen. Now we are challenging them that it is happening, and the people of South Sudan will be happy because part of the agreement that has been not implemented is being implemented now. So we in the the organizing committee, we are happy to see into it happening. It is happening. And if it is happening, then we are making the people of South Sudan once again to be happy, because that was what was being said in the media and in all corners of South Sudan, that there will be no graduation, people will revert back to war. We are not reverting back to war. We are implementing the agreement, and we have accepted, starting from our president, the first vice president, that they have to implement this agreement in letter and spirit.
I stand to be corrected if I heard according to the parties to the agreement and the unifications of the national army, the unified forces, is being done in order to make sure that these are national army that does not support any party, but stands to protect the integrity of South Sudan and the national interest of the people of South Sudan. What can you say about after the graduation of these unified forces? Do you think, as life of army and soldiers is concerned, are they supposed to be still members or affiliated to any political party?
As from today, I think those who will be integrated into the SSSVDF will be the National Army of South Sudan. The same with police, prisons, wildlife, civil defense, and national security. So we are not expecting anybody to be affiliated to his own mother unit that he came from. Now we are going to form one army, and that is the Army of South Sudan. So anybody talking about he comes from here and there will not be there.
Do you think if a soldier, if an army officer affiliated him or herself to a political party, can that affect the implementations of the revitalized peace agreement?
Well, in the discipline of the army or police, of that officer should not be in the unified force. He has to be out of that unified force, because he's bringing tribalism into the army or to the police, which is not our mandate. Our mandate is that we are a unified force, we are a national army, we are to defend the national integrity of South Sudan, we are to defend the people of South Sudan and their resources. So anybody who comes out and telling us that now I am affiliated to this party or that party, there is no parties in the army or in the police.
What can you tell people, your colleague in army, who are still locking horns with the government?
Well, we are telling them that they have to come in, because the country does not belong to individuals. It belongs to all South Sudanese. And if all South Sudanese have accepted peace, why not they join us in peace? They have to come. They are welcome at any time they deem to be coming to join peace in South Sudan, because this is the ultimate goal of all the South Sudanese, that there should be peace in South Sudan. So anybody who is still hiding out is welcome to come. It's either through negotiations or through him coming voluntarily.
Hiding out. Why should a South Sudanese keep hiding out?
Well, this question is supposed to be forced to those who are hiding out, because we are in. We are not hiding out. We are in. Those who are hiding out, they have their own agenda. And this is what this agenda is supposed to be. They are supposed to be asked, what is making them not to come in? If they have grievances, then these grievances will be solved.
Okay. Major General, can you maybe give some highlight about the number of the unified forces that are going to be graduated this morning? Yeah.
today we are graduating more than 10,000. It's 10,000 plus. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for making it to SABC. Before I let you go, because I believe you have a lot of responsibility and duties to follow at Dr. John Garang Mausoleum with your colleague. Maybe a word of encouragement to South Sudanese and the unified forces that are going to be graduated this morning and people of South Sudan.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank our president for making it to happen, and I would like to thank all the committees that are working on this graduation since day one. I would like to thank them, and also I would like to thank the people of South Sudan, and I would like to urge them that they have to talk to each other. They talk to their sons, they talk to their neighbors, such that peace is there. To the unified forces, I'm telling them that you have been unified. You are an army of the nation or a police of the nation. You are not affiliated to any party again or any rebel group again. You are here as an army or police or national prisons of this country. So let us work together to achieve our goal. Let us work together to challenge those who have been saying South Sudan is only a place for war, place for killing. Let us challenge them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Major General. Let us work together. That is what taken away from you right now. And believe that you will also work on the interests of the people of South Sudan, as you always do with your colleague. And we thank you for accepting our invitation as SABC to make it to the studio. It is not easy, but we do appreciate your presence here in the studio. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Thank you. And dear viewers, thank you so much for following this important live coverage coming to you in our studio from Juba. And it's all about the graduations of the unified forces that is happening this morning at Dr. John Garang Mausoleum in South Sudan. We have a number of crew on the ground that will bring to you the live update. For me, Majier Deng Kur, I've been with Major General Majier Deng Kur, member of the supervision of the graduation committee of the unified forces. Thank you so much and keep watching. More is coming to you right here. Let's have just a break and we'll be right back.
The leadership of National Transitional Committee, in conjunction with the high-level Joint Graduation Committee for the necessary unified forces, announced to general public that the long-awaited graduation of Phase 1 of unified forces would finally take place on Tuesday, 30th of August 2022 at Dr. John Garang Mausoleum, starting at 8 a.m. Government officials, heads of diplomatic missions, academic security mechanisms, representative of Troika, civil society organizations, community leaders, faith-based groups, business communities, and peace partners will bear witness to the event, marking a major milestone achievement in the security protocol. The occasion would be marked under the auspices of President Salva Kiir Mayardit, the Commander-in-Chief of Unified Armed Forces.